You might not have been planning on your business's next mid-sized van being a Fiat, but this improved version of the brand's third-generation Scudo, thanks to borrowed Stellantis Group-engineering and technology, might just be good enough to change your mind. Like its design stablemates, it's easy to live with, practical, efficient, and nice to drive. A step forward then for Fiat. The improved version of Fiat's third-generation Scudo mid-sized van is a more polished proposition. Here, we're going to take a closer look. A change of name doesn't always mean a change of fortunes. Back in 2016, Fiat switched its mid-sized van range away from 2 generations of Scudo branding, re-christening it the Talento and basing it on a Nissan Renault Alliance platform. Now that model failed to make much of an impression on the market, so in 2022 the Italian maker switched back to the Scudo nameplate and ditched the Renault underpinnings to create this Stellantis Group-engineered model. It's the usefully improved version of that design, updated in spring 2024, that we look at here. It shares almost everything, as you might expect, with the other Stellantis mid-size vans in this sector, the Peugeot Expert, the Citroën Dispatch and the Vauxhall Vivaro, with the same design and engineering also used by the Toyota Proace. Now that does at least mean that everything that you get here is thoroughly proven. To find out more about Fiat's spin on it, you're going to need the industry's most comprehensive review, the Car and Driving Road Test. All the engineering on offer here is familiar and proven from other Stellantis Group mid-sized vans. So bolted to an EMP2 platform, there's the choice of conventional diesel or full electric power. Now things kick off with a 1.5 litre diesel, now offered only with 120 PS, mated to 6-speed manual transmission. There's also a 2 litre multi-jet diesel with 145 PS and the choice of either manual or 8-speed automatic transmission. The crew van also gets this unit in 180 PS auto form. If your business has moved on from smoky diesels, you'll be more interested in the single e-Scudo electric variant that we're trying here. This EV uses a 136 PS electric motor and is now only available with a 75 kWh battery pack that offers an EV range improved with this enhanced model that's rated at between 194 and 230 miles. That's about 12 miles further than the equivalent version of the pre-facelift e-Scudo model. If you're wondering what driving a full electric mid-sized van might be like, well, there's not too much to get your head around. You turn the key in the ignition, wait for the starting bleep, then flick the gear toggle into drive. There's a drive mode selector that allows drivers to switch between eco, normal and power modes. The normal setting restricts you to 109 PS and will feel a bit like driving a lower capacity diesel. Eco mode restricts you further to 81.5 PS and reduces the power consumption of the air conditioning and other accessories. If you want the full 136 PS and 270 Newton meters of torque from the electric motor, selecting power mode unlocks it. There are pedals behind the steering wheel to vary brake regen, replacing the previous gearbox B setting, with the fiercest setting slowing you very noticeably off throttle. Top speed is just 84 miles an hour. Now, with either drivetrain, this model feels quite manoeuvrable. Testers who'd found the sheer size of some other mid-sized LCVs in this segment a little daunting when dealing with narrow country lanes and squeezing through gaps in the traffic, were, we found, much more easily able to acclimatise to a Scudo with its car-like driving position. The bonnet's set quite high, but the nose has a squared-off shape that we found during our testing program makes this Fiat easy to place in tight urban situations. There's a curb-to-curb turning circle of 12.4 metres. And ride quality is a strong point thanks to load adaptive variable damping shock absorbers, a system which varies the damping with the vehicle's ride height. Visually it looks pretty similar to its design stablemates, the Vauxhall Vivaro, the Citroën Dispatch, the Peugeot Expert and the Toyota Proace. But to differentiate the Scudo, there's a Fiat-specific front end with a bigger, prouder display of the brand badge. A narrow strip under the bonnet lip links the swept back headlamps, which in top variants are of the more piercing Eco LED kind. All the cooling's now done by these two lower apertures. With either drivetrain, there's a choice of this short wheelbase L1 version, which is 4.98 metres long, or the long wheelbase L2 variant, which is 5.22 metres in length. With both lengths, you can have a crew van variant with an extra row of seats, but Fiat doesn't offer a high roof option on any Scudo panel van. At the back, there's now a big Fiat badge on the right-hand door, and as usual, the tail lights are mounted high up to help avoid potentially costly parking knocks. Diesel versions of this Scudo are British built at Luton, alongside this designed Stellantis Group LCV stablemates. This e-Scudo is built at Jourdan in France. The main design changes, though, as part of this update, lie inside. Where the efforts made to set this Fiat apart from its Stellantis Group LCV cousins are cursory. Like its design stablemates, this revised model gets a refurbished dashboard with a 10-inch digital instrument display and a now larger 10-inch central infotainment touchscreen. As part of redesigning the dashboard to take this bigger monitor, the designers have also taken the opportunity to enlarge the storage areas around the instrument panel and the center console. There's also this rather strangely redesigned horizontally themed steering wheel, which on this electric model now features brake regen paddle shifters. Let's drill down into the screen stuff a bit for you. This button to the right of the instrument display allows you to scroll through the panel's various provided layouts. All include a central digital speedo and, on this EV model, outer flanking battery charge and power meter readouts. But you can also introduce trip data, nav directions, and on the EV, a power flow graphic if you wish. This central screen has various home screen options, 2 of them with customizable widget sections. Here we've got nav, phone settings and audio functions on the first of them. You can swipe left for nav mapping if that's been fitted, and swipe further left for a second widget screen with options for radio, phone, mirror screen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connection, voice control, and an applications drawer section which contains games and the EV model's energy section. Now, if you avoid base trim, this monitor incorporates the brand's useful dynamic surround view system, which works via 2 cameras, one located above the rear doors and another under the passenger side exterior mirror. The images of the rear while driving and, when activated by the indicator stalk, of the side blind spot are displayed in the new high-definition digital rear view mirror. Otherwise, things are much as before, which means quite a car-like seating position with plenty of seat and wheel adjustment. There's the option to heat the front seat and steering wheel. We've got front seat heating here. As usual in this class, a 3-person bench seat is fitted, and if you avoid base trim, there's a load-through bulkhead flap so that longer items can be pushed through from the cargo area. The middle part of the seat can fold down to create a table with an elasticated strap. That's if you avoid base trim. Most dashboard functions are on the central touchscreen, though the climate controls are separated out below. Cabin storage, well, that's a bit of a mixed bag. It's disappointing that you don't get an overhead shelf, and under-seat storage is a bit limited. This compartment under the passenger bench wouldn't take much. Plus the upper glove box isn't as big as it looks, and the lower passenger side open stowage area is compromised in size by a fuse box. Nor is the large dash top compartment lidded, so items placed in there will reflect right onto the screen above. On the plus side, there are huge door bins with smaller storage trays in the doors above, plus you get a cup holder at either end of the dash top and ticket clips in the sun visors. There's a central console cubby below the 2 provided USB-C ports in the middle of the dash, and a pen tray above the gear selector. Like its predecessors, this Scudo comes in two main configurations, panel van and crew cab. And there are two trim levels, Scudo and Primo. There are two body lengths, this L1 version or the longer L2 variant. The drive choice is between two diesel power plants and a full EV powertrain. As you'd expect, the LCV range pricing broadly mirrors what you'll pay for this model's identically engineered Stellantis Group mid-sized LCV cousins, the Peugeot Expert, the Citroën Dispatch, and the Vauxhall Vivaro, and the other version of this design, Toyota's ProAce. For the combustion Scudo variants, ex-VAT on-the-road pricing, as we filmed in spring 2025, well, that was in the £29,000 to £34,000 bracket. For this full electric e-Scudo, spring 2025 pricing saw asking figures in the £37,500 to £41,000 bracket after subtraction of the government's £5,000 plug-in van grant. Also similarly priced are Ford's Transit Custom and the design badged either as a Renault Trafic or a Nissan Primastar. But you'll pay a little more for either the Volkswagen Transporter or the Mercedes Vito. There are three Chinese models in this segment, the Horizon SV and the Maxus brands eDeliver 5 and eDeliver 7 models. But they're all electric only vans. That's the only way you can have them. Now, if it's this Fiat you've decided you want, then you're going to need to know about standard spec. Well, as you'd expect, base trim gives you only the basics, though that does now include a 10-inch colour digital instrument cluster. You get manual air conditioning, daytime running lights, a laminated windscreen and rear parking sensors. What else? Well, you get both near side and offside side sliding doors, and for the cab there's a driver's seat with height, rake, reach and lumbar adjustment, plus a full steel bulkhead. Other key features on entry-level Scudo trim include selective door locking, auto headlamps and wipers, high beam assist and cruise control with a speed limiter. Across the range, media connectivity is now dealt with by a 10-inch Uconnect HD Touch central screen. The latter infotainment monitor comes complete with natural voice recognition, 4G connectivity, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone mirroring, and connection to a My Fiat app, which allows you to interact with your Scudo via your phone whilst you're away from it. The main reason that you'd want to stretch to plusher Primo spec is to get the useful load-through bulkhead package, which gives you a fold-up middle seat, a fold-down writing table in the centre seat back, and storage under the passenger bench. The main benefit, though, is that useful load-through flap under the outer passenger seat into the cargo area. Primo spec also upgrades you with eco LED headlights, front fog lamps, larger 17-inch wheels with full-sized hubcaps, and an exterior look pack which adds body colour to the bumpers and side mouldings. Other Primo features include navigation, a dynamic surround view camera system, an ultrasonic security alarm setup, front and rear parking sensors, and power folding mirrors. Right, on to options across the Scudo range. Most of the extra Primo spec features, including key ones like the load-through bulkhead, the dynamic surround view camera system and the vehicle alarm, are all available at extra cost with the base Scudo trim that we have here. That's if you want those extra features. 17-inch alloy wheels are available across the range, and we'd want a full-size spare wheel too, which can be ordered separately as here, and also comes included in the worksite pack, which additionally incorporates an under-engine protection plate and an increase in ground clearance to 175mm. Great for building sites. To protect the load area, you can add a 9mm coated anti-slip wooden load floor with aluminium rails. As usual with this kind of van, you can add glazing to the bulkhead and the rear doors and replace the two-person front bench with a single seat. You might also want to look at the driver assist pack, which bundles together active cruise control, an electric parking brake and heat for the steering wheel. The latter feature also comes as part of a winter pack along with a heated driver's seat, we've got that here, and side and curtain airbags. Bear in mind, you can't fit the optional tow bar to this electric model. And on the subject of this EV version, if you're going to be wanting to charge via a faster three-phase supply, remember that you'll need to find the extra £400 that Fiat requires for the 11 kilowatt three-phase onboard charger with its Mode 3 22 kilowatt cable. Bear in mind that with any Scudo, unless you order the only standard colour, that's solid gelato white, you'll be paying your dealer, at least £650 extra for your company's chosen paint shade. We've got Colosseo Grey 2 Metallic here. That's the colour freshly added for this updated design. Onto safety kit. In all, 18 advanced driver assistance systems are fitted across the Scudo range, and there's lots fitted as standard. Even base Scudo versions like this one now come as standard with an automatic braking system, lane keeping assist, driver attention alert, high beam assist and intelligent speed assist with excessive speed warning. Plus, there's tyre pressure monitoring too. There are twin front airbags, but you don't get side bags as standard unless you choose the crew van version. Time to open the twin rear doors out back and take a look at the load area. As usual, you can push the door further back by clicking on these little yellow stays. The cargo bay is 2,512 millimetres in length for this standard wheelbase L1 and 2,862 millimetres in length for the long wheelbase L2 with 1,258 millimetres of width between the wheel arches and a maximum height of 1,397 millimetres from floor to ceiling. Overall cargo capacity sees a minimum load volume of 5.3 cubic metres for this L1 and 6.1 cubic metres for the L2. Now this expands to 5.8 and 6.6 cubic metres respectively when the load through bulkhead facility is used. That's an option on this base spec trim. For reference, a rival Ford Transit Custom short wheelbase model offers a 5.8 cubic metres of carriage capacity without the need for a load-through option. And it can be had with a higher roof too. One reason you might still want a Scudo in diesel form relates to payload. And sure enough, the diesel model panel van's payload figures, they do look decent, varying between 1,121 kilograms and as much as 1,384 kilograms, which is one of the highest figures in the sector. Now, this electric model is limited to a payload of between 915 kilograms and 1,263 kilograms, depending on the variant you choose. Diesel model panel van gross vehicle weights vary between 2,830 kilograms and 3,100 kilograms. This test electric model has a gross vehicle weight of 3,100 kilograms. EV variant panel van gross vehicle weights start at 3,011 kilograms. The towing weight on the diesel is 2,000 kilograms for the 1.5 and 2,500 kilograms for the 2 litre. With this EV, the braked towing weight is limited to a tonne. Not all contenders in this segment provide a sliding side door on both sides of the vehicle, but this Fiat does. Its aperture is 1,241 millimetres in height and 935 millimetres in width. Now this remains a practical space, equipped with 2 dim lights and 6 tie-downs with this L1 version. Ideally, you'd want to add a ply lining kit to protect these exposed wheel arches from scrapes and knocks. And Fiat would like to sell you a 9mm coated anti-slip wooden load floor with aluminium rails to protect the cargo area base. As for running costs, well, the 1.5 120 PS diesel variant now returns up to 44.8 miles to the gallon on the WLTP combined cycle with up to 164 grams per kilometre of CO2. The 2 litre diesel with 145 PS manages up to 38.7 mpg and up to 191 grams per kilometre as a manual, or up to 39.8 mpg and 186 grams per kilometre as an auto. These figures should give you a decent range of about 600 miles from the 70-litre fuel tank. You'll need to keep the separate 22.5 litre AdBlue additive tank regularly topped up every few thousand miles, of course. The van's trip computer will tell you when to do it. Ignore those warnings and eventually the van won't start. As we told you in our driving section, this electric model manages up to 230 miles on a charge in combined motoring, or up to 314 miles in city traffic. The centre screen has an energy section with a graphical statistics screen that allows you to monitor your frugality in miles per kilowatt hour over the last 30, 60 and 180 minutes. That energy section also has an energy flow graphic and a charging section. If you're looking at this full battery version, you'll want to know that the 75 kilowatt hour battery can be DC recharged from 5 to 80% in 45 minutes at a 100 kilowatt public charging station. If you're AC charging, a 7.4 kilowatt wall box will need 11 hours 20 minutes for a full charge, which you can reduce to 7 hours 20 minutes if you pay Fiat extra for an 11 kilowatt charger and connect to a 3-phase supply. Connected to a domestic socket, you'd need a yawning 36 hours 45 minutes for full battery replenishment. Service intervals are every 2 years or 25,000 miles for the 1.5 litre diesel. It's every 2 years or 30,000 miles for the 2 litre 145 PS diesel, or every 2 years or 32,000 miles for the diesel autos. It's all a bit behind the longer 36,000 mile service intervals that you get from a rival Ford Transit Custom though. This electric version needs an initial inspection at the end of the first year of ownership or when you crest 12,500 miles. From then on, garage visits will be needed every 2 years or 25,000 miles. Now you can opt for a service plan that lets you pay monthly to spread the cost of regular work to your van. You'll also need to know that Fiat Professional includes a 3-year 100,000 mile warranty, a standard. That's better than the packages offered with the equivalent Vauxhall, Peugeot and Citroën versions of this same design, but it's way off the up to 10-year package that you could have on the Toyota ProAce version of it. Fiat's warranty package, by the way, can be extended up to 5 years at extra cost under Fiat's 555 Peace of Mind deal, and that also gets you 5 years of servicing and roadside assistance. Now, quite a few Fiat Professional dealers also look after Iveco trucks, so they're better versed in the needs of commercial operators. A year's free breakdown cover is also provided along with a 6-year anti-corrosion guarantee. With this e-Scudo, the battery is guaranteed to 70% of capacity for up to 8 years or 100,000 miles. Fiat vans have a much higher sales share in Europe than in the UK. For the Italian brand's slice of our market to increase, the company needs product quality in depth. Expect borrowed Stellantis Group-engineering technology to provide that over the next few years, and this improved version of the 3rd generation Scudo demonstrates just how useful this will be in extending the reach of the Fiat Professional LCV network. There's nothing really here that you couldn't also get from the Peugeot, Citroën, Vauxhall or Toyota versions of this same mid-size design. But if for your business a Fiat Professional garage is more convenient and offering a better deal, there's the peace of mind of knowing that you're buying your business a state-of-the-art product. In the mid-sized van segment, going for an Italian just got that bit more appealing.